Welcome back, everyone, to the Oakland Swimming Notebook. My name is Neil Rule, the broadcast voice of the Golden Grizzlies, and big story going on right now with the Oakland Swimming Program, national story, as it were, as well. I'm joined by Susan LaGrand, swimming coach Pete Hovland as well. And for those that don't know, and I'm sure you do, but for those that don't, Susan has qualified for the NCAA championships. She's down there right now, partaking in that. And today, Susan, you had a qualifying heat. Just bring everybody up to speed exactly how it went down there today.
Yeah, so I swam the 200 IM today, which has kind of been a relatively new event for me. Got into it last year, or back into it, I guess. And I wanted to swim something before the 200 backstroke, which is what I qualified for on Saturday. So I have the 200 IM today and the 100 back tomorrow to kind of get into the meet. I was pretty nervous, rightfully so. It's probably the largest stage definitely the largest stage I've ever swum on. So it's definitely good to get one under my belt in this meet, and it felt great to be able to win my heat and have the announcer talking about Oakland and everything in front of everyone, all the best swimmers in the country. So that was definitely a great way to start off the meet, and it felt like a very, very strong, steady swim, which is kind of exactly what you want in something like a 200 IM.
Susan, I'm curious about this. Take us through that. You're up on the block, and you're getting ready to jump in the pool and do this on the biggest stage, as you said, the biggest stage that you've ever swam on. You look around; it's all Texas and Michigan, and all these big time Power 5 universities, and there you are as well. But swimming, I think swimming's a lot like sprinting and track in that it's as much mental as it is physical. When that gun goes off, you go to your different place, though, don't you? All that goes away, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, we've been here for a couple days now to kind of get used to the pool and everything, and it hasn't really seemed real until this morning when I had to actually put on my tech suit, and wasn't really nervous until I had to go do my final warm up, and then I'm swimming next to the Arkansas swimmers and the Missouri swimmers who got fourth in that relay tonight, and so then I was getting a little antsy, hands were shaking a little bit, and I'm kind of getting ready to walk up to my block, and it's me and a UNC girl and a UCLA girl in this heat, and I'm up on the blocks, and I'm thinking, just don't false start. As soon as you hit the water, you'll be fine, but you got to get to the water first. I'm sitting on the block and I'm just thinking, water is the same everywhere. This is the same water that you swum in for years, so once you get there, you're great. But beforehand, I was pretty, nervous. And then even afterwards, yeah, you're out of breath from your swim, but I was still my hands were shaking just because, I've never swum somewhere like this, and feel win my heat. That was just a very, very good feeling, I would say.
Yeah, I would bet there's no doubt about that. Pete Hovland, as you hear that story, and look, you and I have had the conversation many times throughout your Hall of Fame career, but again, your program doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. I mean, you just have to look up at the rafters and you know the story with your program. But with all that being said, and all those championships won, I would imagine the butterflies even got going on Pete Hovland's stomach a little bit before that started, weren't they?
I wouldn't miss this for the world. And when we aren't here, I do. Because exactly right. I mean, the butterflies are still there today as they were the first time I ever stepped on this stage, and that's what makes this sport and this meet so special. You're up against the best of the best and the top swimming programs in the world, and if you can't get excited for this, or the nerves don't start to, you don't start to tingle a little bit and stuff, then maybe you should find something else. But it is very exciting, and I just I don't want to impose my nerves on her. So I try to give her as much room as possible. And I try to pretend like, oh, I've been here before, so it's no big deal kind of thing, just do your thing. But inside they're churning for her, because it's a big step. I've seen it with a number of my athletes, and until you've done it once, you don't know what to expect. And so you have to go through it. She handled it. She handled it great this morning. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you, but if you look at this meet, it's brutal. And then especially this year just to get kids here. And last year it was canceled, and so the kids do everything in their power to try to get here. You know, they take 32 people in just about every event, and 32 of the best people in the world, you know, that, and when you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids, it says a lot for the kids that get here. So it's brutal, and they sell their soul to get here, and to actually get here and actually swim faster than what you did to have that time. And so for Susan to do that on this stage in the first heat of the 200 IM and to drop over a second from her seed time, and says a lot. And I was very pleased and very proud of her. And she leading a couple of laps there, and won her heat stuff. So she got a lot of pub there on the PA system, and from the announcers covering the meet. So it was nice to hear Oakland, and even she doesn't see it, but you know, after she got done swimming, all the coaches that were around me all pat me on the back, and you know, everybody's pulling for the Oaklands of the worlds, the mid majors at this meet, and so you know, it's very, very rewarding, and it's all because of her, and you know, she handled it great.
Yeah, Susan, to follow up that point with you as well, and you and I have had discussions before too on this very platform where we've talked about your accomplishments and Horizon League Swimmer of the Year and everything that you've done. I mean, granted, you're still in the heat of the moment, and I understand that, and there's a lot of steps still to be taken. But I would imagine that somewhere down the line, when this weekend is over, will you go back and look at it, and through all the accomplishments that you've had, through all the accomplishments that this program has had, you've put your mark on it. I mean, you've shown that you belong with the best in the nation, not just the best in the Horizon League, not just the best in the region, but the very best in the nation. You put yet another mark on this program, and I would imagine that when it's all said and done, that will mean a lot to you.
Oh, absolutely. But last year everyone was trying to qualify for Olympic trials, and that's a huge meet too. But I had some people ask me, would you rather qualify for NCAAs or would you rather qualify for Olympic trials? And everyone was saying Olympic trials, but for me personally, I said NCAAs. So like this meet to me is like a fever dream. Like it's like, never, I mean, okay, I believe in myself, but it's really tough to get here. So to actually be here, I constantly have to be reminding myself, no, you earned it. Like you made it. Like this isn't like a fluke. This isn't like a COVID thing. Like your time's your time, So yeah, I imagine when I look back at this, even, just being here, whether or not I went faster this morning, which it was great to do so, just being here in itself to me it's just a dream come true. Like there's really no other words to describe it. Ever since I knew what this meet was, I was like, yeah, I want to be there. Like if I had my top goal, that would be it. So it just feels like I am in the exact right place with Oakland to be able to be here, because who knows, if I was at some other program, it might not be the same way. And I just feel really fortunate that I've been dealt the hand that I was dealt, per se.
Yeah, absolutely, and certainly you did it, Susan. I mean, there's no question about that, and certainly there's more work to do. I understand that, but also you need to understand everybody at Oakland, the entire department, everybody's pulling for you and wants to see you go everywhere that you want to go. So, Susan, we certainly do appreciate you carving out some time. You got a lot going on, Pete. You got a lot going on too. So certainly big thanks to the both of you, and we'll be watching.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it.